Today, Pope Francis is a watchman, like the prophet Ezekiel in today's first reading, sharing a vital message with us as the Christian family celebrates the season of creation, which began on September the 1st and concludes on the feast of St. Francis of Assisi on the 4th of October. During this period, we are invited to renew our faith in the God of creation and work for the care of our common home. This year, to mark the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, the group organizing the season of creation has chosen the theme Jubilee for the Earth. In the Bible, a jubilee is a sacred time to remember, return, rest, restore, and rejoice. Using those 5 words, Pope Francis continues to share his Laudato Si encyclical message with us. A time to remember. A jubilee is indeed a time of grace, to remember creation's original vocation to exist and flourish as a community of love. We exist only in relationships with God the Creator, with our brothers and sisters as members of a common family, and with all of God's creatures within our common home. Everything is related, and we human beings are united as brothers and sisters on this wonderful pilgrimage, woven together by the love God has for each of his creatures, and which also unites us in fond affection with brother sun, sister moon, brother river, and mother earth. A jubilee, then, is a time of remembrance in which we cherish the memory of our interrelational existence. We need constantly to remember that everything is interconnected, and that genuine care for our own lives and our relationships with nature is inseparable from fraternity, justice, and faithfulness to others. A time to return. A jubilee is a time to turn back in repentance. We have broken the bonds of our relationship with the Creator and with our fellow human beings and with the rest of creation. We need to heal the damaged relationships that are essential to supporting us and the entire fabric of life. We cannot live in harmony with creation if we are not at peace with the Creator, who is the origin and source of all things. The Jubilee season calls us to think again of our fellow human beings, especially the poor and the most vulnerable. It is a time for setting free the oppressed and all those shackled in the fetters of various forms of modern slavery, including trafficking in persons and child labor. We also need once more to listen to the land itself. Today, we hear the voice of creation admonishing us to return to our rightful place in the natural created order, to remember that we are part of this interconnected web of life and not its masters. During this season of creation, let us be attentive to the rhythm of this created world, for the world was made to communicate the glory of God, to help us discover in its beauty the Lord of all, and to return to him. A time of rest. In the Bible, a jubilee was a time of rest, so that the land and its inhabitants could be renewed. These days, however, our way of life is pushing the planet beyond its limits. Our constant demand for growth and an endless cycle of production and consumption are exhausting the natural world. Creation is groaning. During the Jubilee, God's people were invited to rest from their usual labor and to let the land heal and the earth repair itself as individuals consume less than usual. Today, we need to find just and sustainable ways of living that can give the earth the rest it requires, ways that satisfy everyone with a proficiency without destroying the ecosystems that sustain us. In some ways, the current pandemic has led us to rediscover simpler and sustainable lifestyles. The crisis, in a sense, has given us a chance to develop new ways of living. Already, we can see how the earth can recover if we allow it to rest. The air becomes cleaner, the water clearer, and animals have returned to many places where they have had previously disappeared. The pandemic has brought us to a crossroad. We must use this decisive moment to end our destructive goals and activities and to cultivate values, connections, and activities that are life-giving. A time to restore. A jubilee is a time to restore the original harmony of creation and to heal strained human relationships. The human environment and the natural environment deteriorate together. We cannot adequately combat environmental degradation unless we attend to causes related to human and social degradation. While planting trees and reevaluating our carbon footprints are worthwhile efforts, we need to also focus our attention and energies in the coming weeks to embracing a true integral ecology. A time to rejoice. A jubilee is also a time to affirm and rejoice for all the efforts and actions that fill people with hope that things can change. As the cry of the earth and the poor are becoming louder and more painful, we see individuals and communities around the world coming together to rebuild our common home and defend the most vulnerable in our midst, especially young people and indigenous communities who are on the front line in responding to the ecological crisis. They are calling for a jubilee for the earth and a new beginning, aware that things can change. Today, we are invited to care for our common home and the poor, to create long-term action plans to practice integral ecology in our families, parishes, and communities. May our prayers and actions speak to our belief that things can change. Let us continue to grow in an awareness that we all live in a common home as members of a single family.